Oh, yeah, take off your gloves, put on your gloves, bare knuckle it or not. This week will be the week, whether blatant or indirectly. The two top choices of the Chicago Bears, in many outsiders' opinions, because we're all outsiders, even the beat reporters, even the fans, the media, um, a lot of these reporters have inside information. They might know some things that we don't, but it all comes down to the individual. It all comes down to human nature. People have the ability to change their minds. They have the ability to decide, you know, they might feel a certain way at some point in time, and then different information might arise, and they might be like, you know what, this other situation might seem better for me, to me. So therefore, I'm going to pivot and go this way. We don't really know until that individual, Ben Johnson or Mike McCarthy, either gets offered the job, accepts the job, or let's say Ben Johnson be like, you know what, I'm going to go this way instead of with the Bears. I mean, we don't know until they actually reveal to us how they feel and think. So we're going to read this article, a little bit of this article right here. I'm going to leave a link to this in the description box down below. You guys can let me know what you think, your opinion, what direction is this going in your opinion. Right now, it's whichever way the wind blows. But one thing we can assume is, I say, by the end of this week, we'll know who the new head coach of the Chicago Bears will be. So let's check this out right quick. The Chicago Bears head coach search has been eventful for the past couple of weeks, but the process is far from over. Chicago still has some interviews scheduled for their first round, which has included roughly 20 candidates. That in itself is ridiculous, but anyway. But there are some early favorites emerging according to various NFL insiders. Don't human nature, we don't really know. NFL Network's Tom Pelissero appeared on the Rich Eisen show, where he discussed the current head coach search situations around the league, including the Bears. For Chicago, it certainly appears to be a two-way race between Detroit Lions offensive coordinator Ben Johnson and former Dallas Cowboys head coach Mike McCarthy. It's a job that intrigues Johnson, Pelissero said. I believe he is at or near the top of their list. I think that's realistic. I think that's a realistic possibility. I also think the way they proceeded with Mike McCarthy tells you that that's viewed as a real candidate for them as well. Just in case Ben Johnson pivots and changes his mind, that's how I look at all that is. Everybody else is a smoke screen. I think Eddie George was just a favorite. He's cool with somebody at Hallis Hall. I don't know who, and I don't want to make assumptions to who he might be cool with, but I'm pretty sure he knows he's not a real legit candidate for the head coaching job. I think that was a favor. Can't prove it, but that's just an opinion of mine. The Bears flew Mike McCarthy to Hallis Hall for their interview on Wednesday, where they spent pretty much the entire day with him, including taking him out to dinner, Pelissero said. On paper, it seemed more like a recruiting meeting than it was an interview, which should certainly lead you to believe McCarthy will be a finalist for the job. It's worth noting that Johnson cannot conduct an in-person meeting until the Lions are eliminated from the postseason. Well, this is obviously this article was actually put out before the game, obviously, before the Lions got knocked off. And considering Detroit is a okay. Yeah, this was obviously before. So before the game, it was I'm going to leave this link and another link in the description box down below. Before the game, this was a thing. This was a thing a possibility that could come to fruition. But this week, you better believe it. The showdown is here. The showdown between Mike McCarthy and Ben Johnson. Mike McCarthy got off to that head start because nobody knew how long Ben Johnson and the Lions would be in the playoffs. A lot of people picked the Lions to go all the way to the Super Bowl. At the very least, the NFC Championship game. And obviously that didn't take place. That fell through pretty much. So now we're left to this last week. The next 5 days is going to be very instrumental. It's going to be very crucial. A lot of us, myself included, I'm in the camp of hiring Ben Johnson for obvious reasons. The offensive-minded head coach eliminates the need, not the total need of having an offensive coordinator at all, but it's not a stressing situation that you'll be in and year out if your offensive coordinator is good. He's going to end up with a head coaching job somewhere else. Now, all of a sudden, you got to worry about finding another offensive coordinator. In the case of having an offensive-minded head coach, that step is pretty much void. It's not something you even have to worry about on a yearly basis. Because even if it's an issue, if you don't have an offensive-minded head coach, let's say you have a defensive-minded head coach or a special teams guy that's, the air quotes, leader of men. Let's say you have a guy like that who basically depends on hiring a good offensive coordinator. And, there are often times where people hire bad offensive coordinators. Oh, holy crap, our offensive coordinator sucks. And we have this guy. We got to continue the season with these issues. Even everybody in the league knows what the years guy gonna get fired. You gotta replace him. If he's a great offensive coordinator, holy crap, someone's gonna hire him. The NC's replace him. See, you eliminate having to worry about that if you have an offensive mind as your coach. It's less steps and less complications to find a good defensive coordinator. Because everybody knows the dynamic NFL is favored. It favors quarterback and it favors the offense as a whole. So those steps on the defensive side, it's not hard to fill. You find a good defense. If the guy sucks, okay, replace him. Doesn't go nowhere because nobody wants to do. If you have the 27 defense, the coordinator going to be out. There's always a chance that you have good defense. If you have a tough defense, you might interview for other jobs, but other teams know that the rules are in favor of the quarterback and the offense. So yeah, he might get interviews, but there's that he might get hired. Defensive coordinators get passed over for head coaching jobs all the time because everybody wants that guy. That offensive-minded head coach that can lead their team to victories, consistently contend in the playoffs on their way to the Super Bowl. Everybody wants that. So there's a likelihood of your defensive coordinator, even though there's a pretty good possibility that he would get passed over and end up coming right on back to be your defensive coordinator. This is why I favor the offensive-minded head coach. And this week is going to be a very important week for the Chicago Bears. Let me tell you. It go in either direction. I am a fan of Mike McCarthy. I'm sorry, I don't care. We tend to bring up his records. Dallas, he's pretty good. And sure, he flames out in the playoffs, but his floor is pretty high. You don't have to worry about anything. Like, yeah, it sounds good and all that. I'm just not feeling that. I'm just not feeling that. And if you bring Brian Flores in, hopefully he's dismissed as a realistic possibility. I noticed when it was pretty evident that the Lions were going to lose, Ryan Poles, got it really fast. Like, oh, let's get George in here because they already interviewed face-to-face. That's a Rooney Rule interview. And George face-to-face, that's another Rooney Rule interview. However you look at it is what it is. We'll see what's going on. Just like Mike Vrabel to the Patriots. Before that even happened, we knew what was going on. Let's stop it now here. We knew what was going on. So Ryan Poles is hurrying up for a reason. I think that Ben Johnson is their guy. He's always been their guy, but the question is going to come down to what Ben Johnson think. What does he want? Could go to the race. He could work this, but the guy he wants to work with, is rumored to want to work with as far as the GM. Right now, it's just for the Commanders. And Tom Brady's orchestrating, what's his name? Tom Brady's orchestrating an interview for Lance. Either today or tomorrow. I'm not sure. Between today and Wednesday. And it's totally from what rumors are saying, because obviously Ben Johnson's not going to come out and actually say this. But supposedly this is his guy who wants to quit. So Tom Brady leading the race. He's on it. But it still doesn't. The fact still remains. The Raiders don't have a quarterback. They might be able to maneuver and trade up a little, to get a quarterback. But is their quarterback out right now that Ben Johnson is in love with, really wants to work with? How does he really feel about Caleb Williams? He's seen him up in person. He's seen him. So compare that, seeing it up in game time. Is he a man he can come up with Williams? He sees that Williams is pretty durable. All the side hits he's secured behind that offensive line, even though some situations was his fault, getting rid of the ball on time or early. Is that something he would like to work with? It needs to be seen. No, truly no. Looking at us, the Bears have some high picks. The Bears got some nice draft picks coming away. Then you add that to all the salary cap space that the Bears have. That whole dynamic is very intriguing in the decision that Ben Johnson eventually makes. I think he's going to eventually be the Bears head coach, but I could be wrong. Ben Johnson might have it in mind. I would say there's to go somewhere else. Let's say Mike McCarthy also chooses somewhere else, the Saints or the Jacksonville Jaguars. After that, I would like Tunkin. I don't know how Bears Brad feels about him, because he can be kind of gruffy McGruff, rough around the edges. Last time they had somebody gruffy, it was Mike Ditka, and he seemed to be Bears brass and ownership seemed very traumatized by the whole situation. So, I don't know. You guys let me know what you think. I think it's Johnson, but this week I'll tell a lot. So hit the like button for this video. Hit the like button. Hit the like button. Hit the like button for the video. Subscribe to this channel. Come Bears news, NFL news. We're gonna slap some NBA and MLB in there too. But right now, this is what's going on. This is what a lot of us are curious about. So we talk about it. This is, in my opinion, Ben Johnson versus Mike McCarthy and his boring ass offense. I don't care what y'all say. I want to, but this is my opinion. Hit the like button. Subscribe. This is Shy Out of Town Sports. I'm in the win again.